JAMB has retained 150 cutoff mark for university admissions. What this means for Nigerian students. Welcome once again to Peter's Studio. Trust you're doing great. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, popularly known as JAMB, has once again retained 150 as the minimum cutoff mark for admission into Nigerian universities for the 2026-2027 academic session. The announcement was made during the annual policy meeting held in Abuja, where Vice Chancellor and major stakeholders in the education sector gathered to discuss admission guidelines for tertiary institutions across the country. The decision has already sparked conversation among students, parents, teachers, and education analysts. While some believe the cutoff mark gives more students an opportunity to access higher education, others argue that the benchmark is too low for university admission standards in Nigeria. According to JAMB, universities are not allowed to admit candidates who scores below 150 in the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). However, institutions still have the freedom to set higher cut-off marks depending on their standard and the competitiveness of their courses. College of Medicine, the minimum benchmark remains 150, while polytechnics will admit a candidate from 100 and above out of the total 400 obtainable in the UTME examinations. This policy officially referred to as the National Minimum Tolerable UTME score. In simple terms, it represents the lowest acceptable score for admission, consideration into Nigerian tertiary institutions. One major issue that continues to generate debate is whether a score of 150 truly reflects the academic readiness required for university education. Last year, when the same cutoff mark was approved, many Nigerians expressed concern, arguing that lowering the benchmark could reduce the quality of graduates produced by universities. However, supporters of the decision believe the Nigerian educational system still faces numerous challenges, including poor learning facilities, overcrowded classrooms, teacher shortages, insecurity in some regions, and unequal access to quality education. From this perspective, maintaining the cutoff at 150 may help more students gain access to tertiary education instead of being unfairly excluded. During the policy meeting, Nigerian Minister of Education Tunji Alausa also confirmed that the minimum age for admission into tertiary institutions remains 16 years. According to the minister, the government arrived at this decision after extensive consultation and policy reviews. He explained that the age requirement is meant to balance inclusiveness with academic maturity and readiness. The minister also warned institutions against offering admission outside JAMB's Central Admissions Processing System, popularly known as CAPS. He stated clearly that any admission conducted outside the official platform will be considered illegal and will not be recognized by the government. This warning highlights JAMB's ongoing efforts to reduce admission fraud, illegal regularizations, and backdoor admissions that have troubled the Nigerian educational system for years. Another major highlight from the policy meeting was the release of the top performing candidates in the 2026 UTME examinations. These students distinguished themselves by scoring between 367 and 372 marks, showing exceptional academic excellence despite the tough competition nationwide. Topping the list is Owoye Daniela Jesu Dunshin from Ogun State, originally from Ekiti State, who scored an impressive 372 marks. She selected University of Lagos as her preferred institution to study MBBS. Other outstanding candidates include students aiming to study courses such as computer science, software engineering, mechatronics engineering, mechanical engineering, and electrical electronics engineering, as at some of Nigeria's top universities, including Federal University of Technology, Akure, Obafemi Awolowo University, University of Benin, University of Port Harcourt, and Covenant University. A closer look at the list of top scorers reveals an interesting trend. Most of the highest performing students chose science and technology related courses. This reflects the growing interest among Nigerian youths in fields connected to technology, engineering, medicine, and innovations. It also sends a strong message that despite the many challenges facing the Nigerian educational system, there are still brilliant and hardworking students determined to succeed academically. Now, the decision to retain 150 as a university cutoff mark can be viewed from two different perspectives. On the one hand, critics argue that universities should maintain strict admission standards to protect academic excellence. They believe that lowering the benchmark could encourage mediocrity and reduce competitiveness among students. Some education observers also fear that universities may eventually become overcrowded with unprepared students who struggled academically after gaining admission. On the other hand, supporters believe the policy reflects Nigeria's current educational realities. Many students come from disadvantaged backgrounds where access to quality education is limited. Poor infrastructure, strikes, economic hardship, and insecurity continue to affect learning outcomes across the country. For much students, a lower of cutoff mark may provide an opportunity for social mobility and a chance to improve their future through higher education. Another important point is that the 150 score is only the national minimum benchmark. Higher competitive universities and courses like medicine, law, pharmacy, and engineering will still require much higher scores before candidates can secure admission. This means that candidates who want admission into top institutions must still work extremely hard to stand out from the competition. The release of the top scorers also demonstrates that excellence is still possible within the Nigerian system. Scoring above 360 in UTME requires serious discipline, preparation, consistency, and determination. Interestingly, many of the best performing candidates selected courses related to technology and innovation. This could indicate the direction Nigeria's future workforce is heading as the world becomes increasingly digital. Now, in conclusion, the decision by JAMB to retain 150 score as the minimum cut-off mark for university admissions will continue to generate mixed reactions across Nigeria. While some people see it as lowering educational standards, others view it as practical response to the realities facing Nigerian students today. Regardless of the debate, one fact remains clear: students who really desire admission into competitive institutions and courses must aim far above the minimum benchmark. At the same time, the outstanding performance of the top UTME candidates serves as motivation for millions of young Nigerians striving for academic success. The achievement proves that with dedication, focus, and proper preparation, excellence is still achievable in Nigeria's educational system.